Hi everyone, and welcome to the final video in our IELTS series. Today we'll be looking at IELTS writing. The IELTS writing test is divided into two different tasks, but we are going to focus only on task number 1. Now, if you're doing the IELTS general test or the IELTS academic test, task 1 will look different. But for our purposes, we are only going to be looking at the IELTS academic test. In task 1 of the IELTS academic writing, you will look either at a chart or a graph. And depending on which one you get, there are 6 different types that you might see. You might see a bar chart, a line chart, a table, a pie chart, a diagram, or a map. And if you're really unlucky, you might get a combination of 2 of these. There are many different ways in which you can answer the question for IELTS writing task 1, depending on which type of chart or graph you get. But for today, we're going to be looking at some universal ideas that will help you no matter what type you get. But to help us today, we're going to be looking at a bar chart. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is learn how to create an introduction. This is fairly straightforward, as all you need is the type of chart and the information from the chart itself. So this is a bar chart, and we are going to look at the information from the title and from the x-axis and the y-axis. So a really basic introduction for this chart would be, this bar chart compares the level of air pollution in millions of tons in 5 different countries: the UK, New Zealand, Austria, Australia, and the USA. It's that simple. The only outside information that I needed was the type of chart. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is comparisons. Most graphs or charts that you encounter will try to compare different types of information. So it's good for you to know some comparative words. The first thing you should be able to identify is comparatives and superlatives. Now, if you don't know this, you can find this easily on the internet or in any textbook. One example from our bar chart is the UK produces as much air pollution as Austria at 40 million tons. Other important comparative language to know is transitions. Transitions are words that we use to go from one idea to the next or to compare one idea to another. They're really similar to conjunctions, but they go at the beginning of a sentence. Some really common and helpful transitions you can use are however, whereas, and although. Now we're going to look at numerals. Numerals are words or ideas that represent numbers. Most graphs or charts that you look at will be comparing numbers, so it's really good for you to know these ideas yourself. So here is a chart of some numbers and their numerical equivalents. Okay? So as we can see, we have 2, 3, and 4, and all of the words that correspond with them. Now, let's see if we can use some of these numerals, comparisons, and transitions to create sentences. The first comparison we made compared the UK and Austria, but we don't always have to do one-on-one comparisons. In fact, we can group some ideas together. Let's look at the UK and Austria. What did these 2 countries have in common? If you said that they are both European countries, you're correct. We can group them together as European countries. Here is a sentence example using all of these ideas together. In this chart, we have 2 European countries, the UK and Austria. The UK produces as much air pollution as Austria at 40 million tons. However, the USA alone produces double the amount of each of these countries with 80 million tons of air pollution. As we can see here, we are able to extend our word count by grouping the UK and Austria together. From there, we are also able to give information by using transitions, using comparisons, and putting all of these together in a sentence. These are only a few things that you can do to find success in IELTS writing academic task 1. I hope these were helpful for you. Please make sure to check out the other videos as well if you want to see more information on speaking, on reading, and on listening. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later.